Hey Peaches, welcome to Peaches by Starlight Tarot. I'm Eleanor and this is my thank you for having gotten to 50 subscribers. Thank you, all 50 of my subscribers, for subscribing and being here with me and spending time with me and listening to the doofy stuff I have to say. I hope that some of it has been helpful and helped you see things in a different way, helped you make different choices, or helped you move closer to what you want to achieve out of life. So I'm doing a bunch of pick a cards today. I'm doing A Little Birdie Told Me. I'm doing career, creativity, career, love, and then a twin flame one. They will all be timestamped below so you can skip to however many you want to check in on. And let's see, the first one I'm doing is A Little Birdie Told Me, and this is one that's from my Etsy shop. It's just getting you something that you need to hear, and this is a sample of the one that I'm giving away free. So it will be the first one, and you can get an idea of what kind of messages we'll get for you. And the free one will be an email, and I tend to communicate a little bit differently in writing, a little bit more at length. And so in order to win, here's what you need to do. You need to comment below, any comment you like, and I'm going to respond to your comment with the name of a tarot card. And then once, maybe, let's say Saturday, this coming Saturday, that would be the 2nd of May, I will do a quick video where I shuffle the cards that apply to somebody, and I'll pick the card, and that will be the winner, and then I'll re-comment on your comment to let you know that you won. And you can give your email, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm excited to have that happen. Just like excited to do that for you and connect with you. So A Little Birdie Told Me is using, let's see if I can remember all the names of the cards, the Crow Tarot, Raven's Prophecy Tarot, Bird Messages, Australian Feather Magic, and Divine Feather Messenger. And I've left each of the readings I'm going to do today has a deck that has an image on one side, and so that's what I left for you to help choose which one you feel like is meant for you. So this is 1, 2, 3. Let's get going. I'm excited to be doing something a little bit different. So you have the Tower, the Knight of Coins, Lovebirds, Responsibility, and Falcon. Use your keen perception and skill in making decisions. Do not delay. All right, let's see. Did I leave myself room? Okay, let's see. So there's a progression here right off the bat. You, the Knight of Cups, this is a person. This is how you are showing up. Okay, and you are busting out of the Tower and moving towards love. That came out just like easy peasy. You are doing it with laser sharp focus. You know exactly who you are going towards, and doing it single-mindedly. So the Tower represents like a prison of safety, and usually it's something that we refuse to come out of until the universe forces us to. If you stay locked up in your tower and refuse to move forward, then the universe will usually upturn things and rock things and shake you loose somehow. But I also consider this a jailbreak card. So there may be situations that you want to get out of, but for some reason don't have the strength or the courage to do so. And that's sometimes the universe will come and just do it for you. It's a little bit of a ripping away of the blanket. But because you have this responsibility card, I don't see you sitting around and waiting for the universe to do that. I feel like the love, you're aware that this love that you want can't be yours until you free yourself from the safety. And you know it well enough that you're taking the lead and you're taking ownership. You may be this is a slow moving energy, so it may be there are a lot of moving parts. And so it's not like you're just rushing in. You're not just busting out, but you may be laying the foundation, making plans, starting to move things around. You will need to be persistent. And it reminds me a little bit, the Knight of Coins with the Tower. This feels kind of like, if you ever saw Shawshank Redemption, that was a jailbreak, an epic jailbreak, but it wasn't a big heist that he planned in the night, and it was a big... It was something that he planned, and he had the works, and he had to do the work to create that freedom, that way out, tiny, tiny bits at a time, every single day, chiseling away at that wall and dumping the dirt out in the yard. It was a long time coming. That's what I'm hearing. It's a long time coming. All right, stack 2. You have the Fool, Death, Pheasant, Journey, and Loon. Pay attention to your dream time. Messages of guidance are drifting in. All right, let's see. Okay, with the Fool and Journey, it reminds me of that song, Life is a Highway. What was that, from the 90s or whatever? Life is a Highway. But what I find interesting, yeah, the Fool says, life is a highway and I want to ride it all night long, which is significant because of the Death card. The lyric isn't, I want to ride it all day long. It's, I want to ride it all night long. So, plus, we have this as a messenger from your dreams, your subconscious, the night, the dark, the unknown. Dream time is sleep time, the nighttime. So I am seeing you diving wholeheartedly into the unknown. And with the Fool, it's because you're excited. You're not doing so fearfully or dipping a toe in. You're excited to know what's on the other side, and you can't wait to see what's on the other side. And with Pheasant and the Fool, it's like it doesn't even matter. You don't even care, because you're confident that wherever you end up, wherever you emerge, wherever the path through this dark night, through this transformation, wherever it ends up, you will be at home in your own skin, even if that's in Timbuktu. Which apparently I found out is an actual real place. Why? Because I'm getting with the Fool and with Journey. Where'd the Fool go? Here we go. The Fool and Journey. The only thing you're really fearing is stagnation. And so that means you're totally willing to dive in and go through the dark night, listen to your dreams, find out what's there, and emerge. Wherever you emerge, you know that you're good to go and that you'll fit in and that you'll figure it out. Stack 3. You have the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Cups, Blue Tit, Grounding, and Woodpecker. Use your discernment and fortitude to achieve your goals and find a new rhythm. Okay. So first off, the Blue Tit. This is all about communication, written and verbal. Using your words. I think they've chosen this bird for this message because of its blue color, speaking on the throat chakra, which is your ability to speak up and be honest and speak your truth and connect with your truth and communicate that with others. So what it is that you're communicating is pretty clear. It's this Ace of Wands, which is going to be actually the Ace of Wands combined with this Knight of Cups might as well be the Ace of Cups. which is going to be feeling overwhelming passion and wanting to communicate it in an artful way that will be well received. There is the potential to get carried away and to lose touch and to get lost in fantasy and dream and do more thinking about it and do more planning about it than actually doing it and having the courage to, it's like drafting an entire thing but never actually having the courage to click send. And so you will need to, this is calling you towards grounding work and centering and connecting with the earth. That thing where you do where you walk into the dirt without shoes, or being near water, or taking a walk in nature, but actually whatever it is, it's something that connects you to your physical senses and your body and gets you back out of your mind into the physical. And so that will help you connect with this rhythm of the situation. You're back and forth with this person, because I feel like part of the message is not just what you say, but when you say it, and that there is an element of timing here that's going to be important. So you are going to want to stay grounded and stay present so you can pay attention, be mindful. Like if you've ever played double dutch and you stand there watching the ropes for a minute, paying attention, choosing your time, knowing when the right time to rush in. You don't just dive in with your head first willy-nilly. All right? That's what I have for a little birdie told me. Give me a second. I'll reset the table for the creativity. All right. This pick a card is going to be all about your creativity, your passion project, whatever that may be. So I am using the Art Oracles, the Impressionist Tarot, and Divine Doors. So I have the doors facing, so you can choose the one that feels more like it's calling to you. This is stack 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and look at them a second and check the timestamp. All right, stack 1, your artist is Kandinsky. Your tarot card is the Two of Cups. Here's a close-up of the door, and it says, sunset. Time here turns to release and unfurl. Old cords of pain fade, and the sunlight burns. All right, let's see. So the Two of Cups does represent two people or two aspects of yourself coming together to become greater than the sum of their parts. It requires vulnerability and the strength and willingness to be seen and to align for a higher purpose. It's wanting the same thing, being on the same page. And with this message on the sunset card, you may be putting some old pain aside for the sake of collaboration. It feels like there was something petty getting between you and either like your biggest fan, your best creative ally. There was something kind of keeping you guys apart, and you might be realizing that the thing that you are both inspired towards is going to be more important, and you're going to be letting something go, letting a wall down that's been between the two of you. So Kandinsky is considered to be the pioneer of abstract art, and he was also a musician. And I find it fascinating something he said, because I'm a colorist. I'm into color. When it comes to, I'm not wearing any of my pieces, but the flowers that I make, it's more about the color than anything else and the color combination. So I really resonate with this when he says that color could be as expressive as music. And so you are joining up with someone very different from you, whose method's very different from you, whose medium is very different from you. And it seems like a really unlikely pairing, but that's exactly the point, because you guys are going to be creating something new. That's the whole thing about him being a pioneer, is that you guys are making something that has not yet been seen. It's like cutting edge. And this, whether it's a different person or whether it's something within you, but there is an alliance that's going to be occurring bring things that shouldn't go together, that do go together, but it is going to have to mean letting something go. And it feels like it's something small, but sometimes we make small things bigger than they have to be. All right, stack 2. Your artist is Damien Hirst. Your tarot card is the 10 of Swords. And here's a close-up of your door. And it says destiny. One door closes, another opens for you. Let the plans of destiny unravel true. Okay. So this guy is pretty preoccupied with, or inspired by, preoccupied or inspired by mortality, the fragility of life, our efforts to prolong it, and the rejection, the way the ego rejects, cannot even comprehend the concept of annihilation, of non-existence. So I feel like with the 10 of Swords here, there is a degree of having to face the annihilation of, the annihilation of an idea or a concept. I call this it's my dunzo card. It's being totally exhausted mentally. It's when you just can't with it anymore. You've fought it to death. There's nothing more to achieve by thinking it over. It's like it's a thought dead end, basically. And it's when you are out of energy and you don't even care. That's the thing about dunzo, is you can't even call it the energy to care. But it is calling you through the veil of that ending to something brand new that will inspire you to start all over. But without this ending, you don't have the energy or the resources put into the new thing. It's like this thing has to move out of the way. There is a new inspiration coming in, but as a creative, you probably have new inspirations coming in all the time, and you probably have a to-do list and a creativity list and a wish list and probably supplies. You've probably bought lots of supplies that are sitting around waiting to be used for these things that you've never gotten to. So it's that way we tend to be really big on inspiration and not so big on follow-through. Usually because there's something else you're already working on, or there's just things just pile up that I'll get to that, and you want to do some things in order. So whatever this is, you have to... This feels kind of like wanting to finish a project because you started it and not feeling like you're free to move on until you can get it done. But this is a dead end. You're not going to get it done. And I think you would feel freer if you would just put it down and let it go and just bite into something more juicy and present. Current is the word I'm looking for. To get yourself reignited. Stack 3, you have Marina Abramovic. I don't know how to say her name. Your tarot card is the 8 of Swords. There's your door. And it says 3 of Cups. I toast to friendship in the afternoon sun. 3 cups and happiness. 3 cheers are done. What I find most interesting about this person is how her work involves the audience and requires, not all of her work is performance art, but some of it is, and there are things that engage the viewer. Like there was one where she puts on this red dress and she sits across from you, and you can like line up or sign up, and she'll sit across from the table staring deep into your eyes or something like that. But so whatever you are creating, this 3 of Cups, this is involving other people. It feels like you're putting on a show, or it could be, there's something performative about it. You could be socializing in a very public way. Like, it reminds me of that app I just saw. There's something about there's some new dating thing. I don't know, I'm old, but it's like where people are going on, because people can't go on traditional dates right now with the social distancing, but they're going on like video dates, but there's an audience, there's people watching. And we're like those old school dating games or something, but there's something that you are doing on display. And so this Eight of Swords, though, tells me that there's something limiting you, some reason you feel like it won't work, or you don't want to be seen in that way, or you're telling yourself that you aren't good enough and you aren't enough and you won't do well. And so there's one more connection here with your people. Bounce this idea off of people, because I think that you will find that your friends are all in. They probably want to help, and they probably want to tell you what a genius idea it is. All right, so that is for the creative. Let me reset the table and we'll talk about career. All right, this is going to be about work. So I am using the Butterfly Effect Tarot, Pixie's Astounding Lenormand, and the Power deck. And these images I'm going to hold up so you can see, so you can choose. This is the image for stack 1. They're a little bit more detailed than the other ones. This is the image for stack 2. And this is the image for stack 3. So pick which one you feel like is yours. Check the timestamp, and let's get started with stack 1. You have the Seven of Swords, the ship, and this says strength. And I will read this thing. It says, the person who upsets you most in your life is one of your best teachers. If that person can get inside your head, turn you around, and confuse you, you know that you still don't understand what you are doing. You need more strength. Learn by seeing that your life is a teaching. Like the red lotus healing its pain in inner solitude, gain strength from entering your wounds and learn from them. The magician remembers the trail and takes a different one, even if it is more difficult. In this way, you build strength. Okay. Let's see. So the ship is a very positive card to get into a career reading, because it suggests travel, it suggests movement. It can be doing work at a distance, like if you are working from home, it's like the distance that your communications have to travel. Or it could be you moving people or things around, like a trucker or an Uber driver or something, which I don't know how much. It's probably more goods than people right now. It can also mean moving up or transitioning. Now, with this Seven of Swords, there is something you're doing on the down low. So it might be that you're researching new opportunities, looking to move up, or looking to move jobs, move careers, looking for new opportunities. But you're not really saying anything. This is kind of something you're doing in your own time, and you haven't really maybe put in your 2 weeks yet, or you're not, if it's within the company, it's not something you're spreading around and talking about. It's something you're doing kind of quietly. So the other aspect of the Seven of Swords is going to be gossip and assholes and people who trigger you. And so what I'm getting with the message in the Strength card here, I'll give you again, mention that red lotus. It's so beautiful. But anyway, so what I'm feeling like it's telling you is that is going to follow you wherever you go. Every job has an asshole. Every job has someone that's going to trigger you in some way. Every job has everyone who has that person who's going to irk you. Okay, so if you're secretly looking to move, that is going to follow you. That it might not be that person, but because it isn't about the person, it's about something inside you. So there will always be someone, some personality that can trigger that. And where you go, your wounds go. And so that's why this is talking about using that to teach yourself, using that to heal yourself, and figuring out what that is. And then that frees you up. Then you can go anywhere and go be anywhere, because just like anywhere you go, that wound is going to follow you around, and wherever there's people, there's going to be someone to trigger that. If that's healed, then you can go anywhere and go be anything without having to worry about that. It's being able to be strong and unfuckwithable in any situation. Stack 2, you have the Empress, the Bear, and there's your image again, and it says impeccability. Move into that place of perfection within you, that place of truth, responsibility, competence, and intuition. Collect your discipline like a Buddha meditating in a garden of snow. Impeccability is an area of strength that comes to flame within, maintaining your power and intent. This flame burns in your center always, indicating the level of your capabilities and your effectiveness in bringing events into being. Impeccability is tended by the attentions of your sacred witness, that person within you who observes the target. Gather your power with impeccability. With the intensity of a rubber band pulled and held at its breaking point, gather your intent and focus on your impeccability for the job about to be done. Impeccability, that seems to me, it's when I would use the word integrity. That's more in my vocabulary, but still, same thing. So, so what's fascinating from what I remember of the guidebook about this card, it talks about the balancing of the female principle before outward action can be taken. Before bold, explosive action can be effective, it has to come from a peaceful inner core. And so you are surrounded by feminine energy here. The Empress is abundant and creative and nurturing, and the Bear is as well protective. And see, this is the snow there makes me think of hibernation, which is also like a bear reference. So this is talking about, I think it talks about hibernation in the book too, about going in and hibernating and, accessing this kind of bear, that the feminine yin aspect, to know what it is that you need to release so that the warrior spirit can move forward and act unencumbered. The Bear does talk about a long-term creative. The Empress is coming here and reminding me that where this can be kind of career focused and kind of like a job and kind of like a boss, you're definitely the boss in the situation. So, and the Empress is boss and the Empress is creative. So this is like a long-term thing that you're building for yourself, building your empire almost. Like kind of was like a Beyonce vibe to this a little bit. But this is the building, you're in the building stages. And I want to say, don't take it lightly and don't take it for granted and don't try to rush forward. The Bear, well, bears can charge ahead pretty fast, can't they? But be, with the Bear and the Empress, protective and nurturing, and to set boundaries, and to be a warrior in the business world, you have to have a still core and to balance those masculine and feminine energies. And so that's what it's asking you to take time to do now, and to create that stillness from which you can operate more intentionally and less reactively. All right, stack 3, you have Judgment in reverse, the Tree, and here's another glimpse of your image. It says silence. Before making a decision of power, move into that place of silence and serenity deep within you. Sit anywhere. Close your eyes and follow your breath in and out. Hang on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. On the third inhalation, take a breath down into your belly and locate your place of power just below your navel. Visualize your place of power holding the golden sun, a disk of radiant brilliance within you. Observe the silence like a deer in a meadow. If you are in pain, use your consciousness to find where that pain lives within your body. Then move into that pain and beyond it until you find the sources of silence. In this silence lives your sacred witness, that which sees all and knows all and is all that you are. Power is born within the silence. Okay. So with the tree, I feel like your job may be very physical. You may be a laborer, an athlete, a performer, like a dancer, something that requires you to be physically able, but also mentally alert and educated, like someone in healthcare, like a nurse. So I'm getting that you need to listen to something your body is trying to tell you here. This is listening to those signals, being able to hear your call, being able to hear when the other side is speaking to you, when source is speaking to you. And so the energy of this is very busy. It's very go, go, go. There may be resistance to slowing down and doing nothing, to say no. When someone else says what you're doing and you say, I'm doing nothing, and they're like, oh, good, you can do something. And you're like, no, no, no. To be able to discern between that doing nothing means you're busy. You're busy doing nothing. And so this is talking about taking time to tune in, as much as you might not like to, as much as you may not feel like you can, you must. You have to prioritize this. And so because I feel like your body is probably trying to tell you something that you need to know. There's probably a communication that you need to hear in order to avoid an injury that could take you out in a way that you won't be able to come back from. Okay, so that's career. Give me a second to reset the table and we'll talk about love. All right, here we go. Let's talk about love. I am using Affirmators, Love and Relationships, the Rider-Waite Tarot, and the Butterfly Affirmations. And so I'm going to, since you choose based on the image, give you a little close-up. So that was stack 1. This is what stack 2. And this is stack 3. So go ahead and think a second. Feel which one you might think might be yours. And we'll start with stack 1. You have the Ace of Wands. Harmony. I know in my heart that when something is right, it feels easy and breezy, even though that sounds cheesy. With this in mind, I banish all stress, insecurity, and tedious work from my relationships. Then I invite harmonious relationships into my life and let them show up on their own time. Easy breezy things are rarely punctual. And then it says, today, everything is unfolding perfectly according to a greater plan. Beautiful. Okay. So, the Ace of Wands is a card of intense passion and desire. It is showing you having a lot of spark and drive available. But the thing about the Ace of Wands is it's neither positive or negative. It can be as destructive as it can be creative. And that's where these other two come in here to guide and temper this energy and kind of direct it. And it's like I feel like it's when Harry Potter just getting his wand and he's like, it's misfiring everywhere and it's just kind of like spraying magic all over the place. And using this type of guidance will help you kind of direct it towards you want, and use this in a way that you can master it and actually achieve something with it and not just make a mess with it. So it feels like they're wanting you to get control of this before it gets out of control. I feel like it's saying don't come on too strong and to have a little faith in the unfolding. To let it be easy and to enjoy the process, and don't be in such a hurry to find out how it ends, because the story is in the middle. And that it's okay to invest time and see where this goes and see where that goes, and to talk to people just because it might not work out. You don't lose anything by connecting. I think there's a sense of urgency where people get really frustrated when they feel like they've wasted their time. And that's kind of an unfortunate way to look at any time you spend with someone. It was given freely. You learn something from the experience, and it's only a waste if you choose to look at it that way. So enjoy the ride. Stack 2. you have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Perfect match. Congratulations, you've gotten your and everyone else's wish. This is an auspicious sign that a healthy, authentic relationship is either here or on its way. This is the sort of relationship where you don't have to compromise, settle, sell out, or otherwise be a non-you. This is a relationship anchored in truth and love that neither party will have to hide their farts from. Smells like a special duo. And then it says, everything happens according to divine timing for best results. Okay. So the Queen of Cups in reverse, it does feel like you've had a rough go of it. Your self-image, your self-esteem may be suffering. There may be asking what you keep doing wrong. Why do I keep attracting these bozos, these assholes? What's the matter with me? And that kind of thinking can be a reason to think you need to change, to make yourself over, to be better, to be something other than what you are, that there's something about you that's causing the problem and that it just isn't true. I know it sounds trite, but it isn't you, it's them, or it's the timing wasn't right. This perfect match is only possible if you start to let this affect how you see yourself and make you want to change and make yourself into something that you think someone would want. Then this can't be. This is impossible. You have to be completely who you are in order for this to come in. Otherwise, you might attract this on the surface and think that's what it is, but then you will always never be able to relax. Always have to be that person that they think you are. Always be who you were that attracted them in. And it's like having to keep your makeup on for the whole rest of your life. And having to keep up the facade that you never, go to the bathroom, that thing that it takes a long time to show that you're a whole person, that you're a human being with flaws, and you don't want to have to always stay buttoned up and keep that face on. So this tells me to tell you to have patience, not to settle, not to sell yourself short, and that there's nothing wrong with you. Stack 3. You have the Six of Cups reversed. Wants and needs. I take stock of my relationships and I'm honest about what I want and need from the people in my life. I know the difference between the two. Wants are negotiable, needs are not. Both may be desired and either may be acquired, but that's getting into Venn diagram territory, and no one wants to draw one of those, though some of us might need to. And it says, I am doing so well on my life journey. I am proud of myself. All right, let's see. Okay, Six of Cups in reverse. To me, this feels like a haunting memory of something that happened that you would prefer to forget. Something or someone that you want to move on from or move away from. It can be another person, or it can be an immature energy or an immature pattern within you, or something it can be embarrassing. Something that's embarrassing that you wish you could live down almost. But you're wanting to move on. And so this is a great time for taking stock before you do so. This shows you deciding what you want and deciding what your standards are and what your limits are. When you choose someone that doesn't meet your standards and in hopes that they will grow to meet your standards, that's not fair, and don't expect a good outcome from that. If you give them a boost or bend the rules just a little bit to let someone in, it's not their fault for being who they are at the end of the day, and they've not done anything wrong by being who they are. So it is showing that you are in a great position right now to choose and to be discerning and to not make any compromises with what it is you want. All right, that's what I have for love. Hang on, let me reset the table and we'll get to the twin flame check-in. Okay, let's check in with twin flames. I am using the Mary L. Tarot. It's my most deeply spiritual deck. This is different than a love reading. The twin flame journey is something on a totally different level than love life. So I'm using the Mary L. Tarot. I'm using botanical inspirations because it's like talking about the language that the Victorians used to get messages to each other by using flowers when they didn't necessarily speak as openly as we do right now, or today, I guess. And I'm using flower spirit. So I have stack 1, 2, and 3 here. I'll hold up your flower so you can see and get a better idea. This is stack 2. And this is stack 3. So you can choose which one like you feel is calling out to you. What is my credibility as a twin flame reader? I will tell my twin flame story sometime, someday, but not at this time. And I used to have a twin flame reading in my shop, and I took it down, and I think I'm being called to put it back and to be a twin flame teacher again. We shall see. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. All right, stack 1. You have the Queen of Wands, Tulip, friendship and gratitude. It says, let us be grateful for the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. And this is called Oriental Poppy. Or I should just call it Poppy because I don't think you're supposed to say that. It says, my life is blessed with so much abundance. All right, so this Queen of Wands is like, this is how they're seeing you right now. She is the keeper of the internal flame, the internal fire. She nurtures growth and the realization of the fullest potential to make the cub there into a full-grown leopard, I think that is. Her mind and heart are like a safe space for where she and anyone who enters can truly see and be seen for who they are. If I remember what it said there, that piece of obsidian is talking about, that's something, it represents mirror. It can be polished. Obsidian apparently can be polished into a mirror. And so it feels like you are their safe person, like the only one in this world that sees them for who they truly are. That you see things in them that the rest of the world just doesn't. Now, this poppy brings a message of, it's talking about your abundance and your relationship to wealth and what you feel. So I think in the book it's probably talking about financial or some kind of success, but if the abundance you're wanting, your idea of abundant would be union, you need to look at your beliefs. And I think this goes for both of you, mostly them right now. Beliefs on whether or not they believe they deserve it or are worthy. I'm getting that they don't feel worthy. And that relationships like the twin flame union aren't meant for them. Because it feels like, in their experience, relationships end. And they might be a relationship fuck up for whatever reason. They see themselves that way. And as long as they stay out of one with you, you'll always be in their life. Unlike, they can avoid having you just be like another one of their exes. Because of this way that they're seeing you, that you're their person, there's no one that can see them the way that you see them. They can't risk having that happen. They can't, the idea of having you as just another ex, that would be too painful and that would be too lonely and too great of a loss. And so that's where they are right now. That's kind of just like a glimpse into where they are right now. And so this tulip is more guidance for you about allowing your friends to help you and shoulder some of that burden and some of the pain of separation. you do not have to go it alone, and you don't have to figure it out by yourself, and to let them in, because they can see the situation more objectively, and you can use their support at this time. Okay, stack 3. You have the High Priestess in reverse. 2 Barodes. Dangerous pleasure. The secret of reaping the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment from life is to live dangerously. And this is Leucojum. It's Leucojum, Leucojum. That I stay in the present by keeping my energy field clear. Wow. Okay. The High Priestess in reverse feels like they're experiencing some intrusive, intuitive insights or thoughts or waking dreams from their subconscious. It's like they prefer everything to be as it seems on the surface. They want it simple. They want to have what it looks like everybody else has. But they keep getting intuitive flashes disrupting their shit. Okay, so this one feels like they're in a karmic situation or relationship. And being tempted by something greater than what was easy or what was available, what just seemed, I'm hearing, it was just the right time. It was time to do it. It was something that was, it fit your plan. And not your plan. I guess I'm more used to speaking to, I don't do talking about a third party very often, looking into a twin flame. I'm usually talking to you. It feels like they are in a karmic relationship, and that being something greater, striving for more, having a more spiritual connection, being with their twin wasn't. They had a plan, and they picked someone that matched that plan. And this really highlights that sense of you being a temptation for them, and that's something they might judge themselves as weak for, because they were not able to keep themselves from you, whether it's in the physical at some point or in fantasy, but you are on their minds in such a big way as to be causing them emotional upheaval. And so this calls you out of, it calls anyone, the reader, it calls you, it calls them out of the rigidity about your image of how your future would look, and come back to the present where things are still possible, where things are more clear. And so this is something that they need, I feel like, more than you, but here you are. And so since you are connected, and you can't do the work for them, that's not the point. Each of you has to do what you're assigned to do. There's no bypassing, and there's no getting past it. But to the degree that you do mirror each other, you can help in some small ways. It's like all you can do is this small thing. And so it's going to be talking about clearing meditation, guilt clearing, for whatever that means to you ritualistically, or like writing things on paper or burning them, or I don't know a lot about ritualistic actions or meditations or things like that, but it could be a meditation, it could be a mantra, it could be a burning ritual. But do this for them, and do it inside of you so that it can be reflected in them, and that might bring them some peace, because I'm feeling like they, with this feels like they're having a hard time. This feels like they might be questioning their sanity, and you can help them by doing this within you, and that they might feel that sense of peace crop up and have no idea where it came from, but you love them, and that would be something you could do. Stack 3. You have the 5 of discs, or pentacles. Forget-me-nots, eternal memories. The best things in life are the people you've loved, the places you've seen, and the memories you've made along the way. This is nasturtium. It says, I go with the flow and harness the dynamic life force within. Ooh, dynamic, ooh. Look, that dynamic life force within. Look at that picture. How awesome is that? I get excited easily. Okay, I'm sorry. Total side note, don't you just want to get that tattooed? Wouldn't that be a beautiful tattoo? Anyway, so your twin has gone deep within and is actually doing their work. They're grounded and doing what they came here to do and tending to this little Garden of Eden within their heart and soul for you. This is kind of something they've built within and for you two to share. And you're doing the same. You're marrying this back to them. I feel like this is as much you as it is them. And so of the 3, this feels like it's the closest to union. You are able to enjoy your happy memories without clinging or without trying to reproduce them or bring them back in some way into the present. Without longing. With appreciation, but without longing. And you're able to do so and appreciate the totality of your timeline. That the union means nothing without the separation. And you're able to do that because of this place that you share in your heart. It's eternally timeless and infinite. That timeline doesn't actually have meaning, or it's not actually real. It is that illusion of time that creates distance between you and those memories, but you're able to see the totality of your story. So with nasturtium, you finally released all of that, the bullshit, the rigidity around and resistance to change. All the stubbornness around how your story unfolds and what it looks like. And it's a willingness to surrender to the life that you signed up for and no longer trying to fast track or bypass. That's your bridge to union. All right, Peaches, that's all I've got for you. Yeah, check in soon. I have your 2nd week of May coming out for your zodiac signs. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful that you have subscribed and you're here and you share this time with me. All right. Bye-bye.